Okay, so what we're going to do, here's the big idea. Suppose you know two pieces of information of the line we want to write the equation of. You know a point that's on the line and the slope. So that means we have to start with point slope form, which looks like this. And I don't know why I put parentheses there. Let me fix that. It shouldn't have the parentheses in front of the y. So that's point slope form. And what we're going to do is, through the magic of our algebra skills, stuff like distributing, combining like terms, etc., we're going to end up with the same equation, but this time in slope-intercept form, which is more useful in the real world. So we're going to start with something that looks like this and end up with something that looks like that. Okay? And then tomorrow we'll expand on that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started because it is a short day. We're going to write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. And a lot of times they won't even say slope-intercept form. If all they say is write the equation of a line and here's the information you have to write it, it's understood that they want it in this format, y equals mx plus b. Okay, that's how often it is used. But here's the information we're going to have. Here's question number 1. Suppose we're given a point on the line. So 3, 7. Let's say that's a point that's on the line. And then we also know the slope that's for the line, how steep it is. Let's say it's 6. So this is all we know about this line. The point 3, 7 is part of it, and the slope of the line is 6. Okay? Well, because that's all we know, there's only one way we could start writing the equation, and that's this way, point slope form, what we learned yesterday. So let's write this equation for this information in point slope form. So it's going to be y, will it be minus 7 or plus 7? Minus 7. And then equals, the slope goes here, and then parentheses x minus 3. Okay, so we're going to start with that. So I want you to look at that. And we got to go from this form of the equation to something that looks more like this. So do you notice we don't have parentheses in the new form that we want?
Yes.
You see, we want it without parentheses. We also have y minus 7. We don't want that minus 7 there. We just want y. So we got to do a couple of things, right? Let's start with the parentheses. How can I remove those parentheses? If I don't want the parentheses here, and I have 6 times something in parentheses, what can I do? It's that dirty D word. Not divide, distribute. Whenever I see parentheses, I always ask myself, do I have to distribute? 9 times out of 10, it's probably yes, and this is one of them. So let's distribute the 6, okay? Let's see what that gives us. So I didn't do anything with y minus 7, just bring it down. And then 6 times x is 6x. And then I'm multiplying positive 6 with minus 3. So what sign will I get here? Will it be positive or negative? Negative. Positive times negative is negative. 6 times 3 is 18. So no more parentheses. And lo and behold, we're almost there. So the first step, definitely distribute. Second step, we have minus 7. We don't want the minus 7. How do I get rid of it? Add a 7. You want to do the opposite of this. And then whatever I do on the left side, I want to do on the other side. I could put the plus 7 under the 6x, but even better, line it up with the plus 7 because those are like terms. So plus 7 would go here because I can combine those. Okay. Now these are going to cancel because they make a 0 pair. I get y equals, I didn't do anything with 6x, so there it is. I can combine negative 18 and positive 7. When I combine them, add them basically, will they give me a positive or a negative? Negative. And 18 take away 7 is 11. So there's the equation I want. Y equals 6x minus 11. Okay, I know the slope now, it's 6. And I know the y-intercept. It crosses at negative 11. Okay. So these are the steps involved. Distribute, get rid of whatever constant's on the left side where y is. Okay. All right. So let's do a few more because that's the easy one. We'll get into more detailed stuff. Okay, number 2. So for number 2, let's say we have a point on the line and it's 4, negative 1. And the slope for the line is negative 2. Okay, so go ahead and write that down. 4, negative 1 is our point. Negative 2 is the slope. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, since that's all we know about the line, we're going to write it in point slope form. So let's do it. This is going to be y. Will it be plus 1 or minus 1? Plus 1. That's negative. You want a positive. So plus 1 equals negative 2 for the slope, parentheses, x take away 4. Thank you. All right, so that's basically what we practiced yesterday. Now we're going to do a little bit of algebra so we make it look like this. Let's start with distributing. We're going to multiply through by negative 2. Okay, so let's see what that does. I get y plus 1 equals, we'll multiply negative 2 with x. Correct. And then negative 2 with minus 4. Plus 8, positive 8. And we're done with that. Now let's get rid of this plus 1. Okay. And we'll do that on both sides. Line it up with the other constant on the other side, because those are like terms that I can combine. So I get y equals negative 2x plus 7. I got an 8 and a negative 1. Different sign, subtract, but you keep the sign of the bigger number or more powerful number, which is the positive one. Okay? So it's negative 2x plus 7. Okay? Any questions? All right. Now, we got to talk about something. Most slopes aren't written like these numbers, right? Most slopes are fractions, if you recall, right? 1/2, a third, 2/4, 2/4 would, negative 3/5, something like that. So for the next examples, we're actually going to deal with fractions for the slope, okay? So let's do it. Number 3. Okay, so let's say the point is negative 9, comma 7. Okay, and the slope is 1/3. Okay, so let's set up the equation in point slope form. Let's see, y subtract 7 equals, this time it's 1/3 for the slope, parentheses, x add 9. Okay. Any questions? Olivia. Right. You need a pencil? Yeah. I got you. Here you go, Francis. Okay. Let's distribute the 1/3. All right. So here we go. So we're going to just bring this down. Y take away 7 equals 1/3 times x. That's 1/3 x. That's not so hard. Now we got to multiply 1/3 with 9. And that's where it gets a little tricky. But we're just multiplying fractions. I'm going to convert the 9 into a fraction. Okay, so I'm going to do the side work over here. Okay, so I have 1/3, and I want to multiply it with 9. I'm going to write that as 9/1. Okay, and now I just multiply it like I would any other fractions. The numerators multiply, the denominator multiplies. So I'm going to multiply 1 times 9, and then 3 times 1. I get 3. So I get 9/3. What can I do with a number like 9/3? Yeah, divide it, reduce it. However you think about it. 3 goes into 9, first of all. You could do it that way. Or reduce the fraction. 3 goes into 3. 3 goes into 9. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 9 3 times. I get 3 ones, which is what number? 3. So I got positive times positive. This is positive 3. 1/3 times 9 is 3. Okay. So there we go. We have that. Not too difficult, I hope you find. Let's get rid of this minus 7. So I end up with y equals 1/3 times x, and then 3 and 7 makes 10. Okay? Not too bad. Any questions? Okay. Let's do a few more of these because this is where it gets confusing. We'll do number 4. Okay. The point is 16 comma -1, and let's say the slope is -1/4. Okay, write that down. -1/4. So let's write this in point slope form. Y plus 1 equals -1/4, parentheses, x minus 16. Okay. So now we have to distribute that -1/4. Let's see what that gives us. Y plus 1, we didn't do anything with this side, equals -1/4 times x. And now, what I like to do is decide on what sign is going to go here, either a plus or a minus. Right now, I'm going to multiply negative times a minus. What would that give me? A positive. It's a negative times a negative. So that'll be positive, so that's a plus. You don't have to worry about the sign because now I have to multiply 1/4 times 16. So I'm going to do again a little bit of side work. 1/4 times 16 ones. Okay, let's see what that gives us. 1 times 16 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4. We can either divide because 4 does go into 16 or reduce the fraction. Whichever one you like, I'll do that. 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 16 4 times. I end up with 4 ones, which is 4. So this turns out to be a 4. Okay? Let's get rid of that plus 1 now. And I get y equals negative 1/4 times x. 4 minus 1 is 3. So y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3. Any questions? Okay, we'll do 2 more, and this will be as tough as they get. So I like to go through all the possibilities here. Number 5. Okay, so let's say the coordinates are 15, 2, and the slope is 4/5. Okay, so go ahead and write that down, 4/5. So let's see what that gives us. We're going to put this into point slope. Y take away 2 equals 4/5 x minus 15. All right, we got that. Write that down. And let's distribute the 4/5. Let's see what that gives us. Y take away 2 equals 4/5 times x. So we'll write that down. And then we're going to multiply 4/5 times 15. But before we do that, am I going to put a minus or a plus here? I got a positive times a negative. Think of it that way. So that'll be a minus. So I'm going to do the side work over here. 4/5 times 15. I don't have to worry about the sign because I already took care of it over here. You just have to figure out what 4/5 times 15 is. So 4 times 15 is how much? 60. And 5 times 1 is 5. Fortunately, 5 does go into 60. Anybody know how many times? 12 times. Thank you. Goes in 12 times. So I get 12 ones, which is basically 12. So there. Nothing we couldn't figure out with a calculator if we needed to. Let's just get rid of this 2, and we got our answer. So I'm going to add 2. Let's see. So on the left side, it's just y, which is what I wanted. On the right side, we have 4/5 x. And negative 12 and positive 2 gives me negative 10. So that's my answer. Y equals 4/5 x minus 10. Okay, so the last one. Number 6. We've got -8, -5, and the slope is -3/5. 3 halves, negative 3 over 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure this out. We got y plus 8 equals negative 3 over 2. Oh, no, I'm not. Thank you. Good catch. My bad, guys. That should be 5. I was on autopilot, and I would have caught it eventually, but it's better to catch it now. Okay, so everything else is right. X plus 8 here. All right. So let's distribute negative 3 halves. Are we intimidated by that? No. Okay, let's see what we get once we distribute. Y plus 5 equals negative 3 halves times x. And then let's decide. I'm multiplying negative times a plus 8. What's going to be the sign here? Negative. So we don't have to worry about it now. Let's just worry about multiplying 3 halves times 8. So I'm going to do 3 over 2 times 8 over 1. And then 3 times 8. Yes. One sec. I got actually someone ahead of you in line. We're almost done though. I got 24 twos, right? And let's go ahead and simplify that. What does that become? 12, right? 2 goes in here once. 2 goes in here 12 times. 12 ones is just 12. All right, and let's get rid of the minus 5. And so this is y equals negative 3 over 2x. I got negative 2 and negative 5. Well, we're not multiplying, we're adding, right? So it's the rules for adding integers. Same sign, added key. Negative 17. Okay? And so y equals negative 3 halves x minus 17. Okay? And that's what we're going to be doing today. There's an IXL for today, just one. And they're going to give you a point and a slope. And they want you to come up with equations in slope-intercept form. So go ahead and open up your Chromebooks. And we'll get started on that.